This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of Miss Marvel Episode 1, Generation Y. And honestly, not a huge fan of the show so far. I feel like this episode, although I'm personally usually fine with filler content, I'm usually fine as long as it's character development, and honestly, I just felt like this had so much filler and felt like, a little too much, just like an average day of someone's life. And nothing, really big happened until the end. And honestly, I just feel like nothing really happened in this episode. There will be spoilers. Yeah, honestly, I'm just giving my first impressions with it. And with this, the entire first episode is just basically her wanting to go to Avengers Con, which is held at Camp Lehigh, where Captain America was created, which is also the site of the first SHIELD base. And yeah, that was cool. But honestly, everything up to Avengers Con, which I thought looked really cool, it was just, a little boring. I also don't love all the weird stuff they do with the text messages being shown throughout the environment. I thought that was very odd. And although I do get where they're going with all this imaginary stuff being everywhere, I didn't fully love that either. But yeah, honestly, it's just still really early in the show, and currently I don't like how they're not doing everything with her being inhuman. I think that could have been a lot cooler to see, and I think her powers being triggered from a bracelet are definitely not as good. Although we could still have the twist that she is inhuman, and that would be interesting to see. And this just activates her powers without putting her through Terrigenesis. I think that it's a lot cooler to see in that, and it feels like they're definitely cutting a part out of her character if she is not inhuman. And although Inhumans was a really bad TV show, they were handled well on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And although that may not be fully canon to the MCU, I'll talk about that in my review next week. But I still think that they can explain things about it and go pretty similar to how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did do it. But yeah, honestly, so far I don't think that Miss Marvel has been too impressive to me. I thought the first episode was okay, but I think that we definitely need to see more of it. And this is definitely a show that could have helped to drop the first two episodes today, because honestly, I was not too intrigued, and it was just all filler and exposition. And since I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, we really haven't got much in this, and has not left me really excited like other shows like Moon Knight, Kenobi, and more have. Since the big twist of this is she gets powers, which we knew would happen. And it just feels like this could have happened so much earlier. Although it is nice to see a superhero that does have a family and the family isn't dead. I honestly am just seeing, everything. It feels like they're being a little too over, exaggerating on how much she is disconnected from her family and how people see her as like a little kid. And with this, honestly, I just feel like it's being beaten a little too hard over the head. And this definitely could have been a shorter episode, and they didn't need to overemphasize on it so much. Because basically, the only thing that's really being said in this episode is that she needs to start living in the real world and stop being in an imaginary one. And it just feels just like it's so much is being repeated. And honestly, I didn't love it. And I think this show still could have potential. Although I personally don't love Miss Marvel as a character, but that's mainly because of her doing fan fiction in universe, which I may talk about in a different video more in depth, but it's pretty creepy to be doing it about real people, and she is in this universe trying to be a YouTuber, which is fine, although I think it's kind of inappropriate for her to be doing a comedic recreation of the battle for Earth, since one Iron Man did sacrifice himself in that, and this kind of felt disingenuous to him because she's just saying, oh yeah, Captain Marvel is basically the reason they won and they would have all lost without her. But that's not really true. In that scene, I really think it's just because she got the jump on everyone. Because if you look at it, Captain Marvel came in and was able to get the drop on Thanos' ship and take it out. Although clearly they don't know everything that's going on in this battle because it's not going to be leaked to the people. It definitely felt really disingenuous to be saying that Captain Marvel is the reason that the Avengers won and beat Thanos when she's not. It was Iron Man and Black Widow who both gave their lives to make sure half the universe was returned. And that was a scene that personally really bugged me because I think it felt really disingenuous to the sacrifices, but also this felt even worse than Rogers the Musical in Universe because although Rogers the Musical was pretty funny, it did feel inappropriate for them to basically make a comedic play based off the Battle of New York. And with that, a good amount of people died in that battle. But no, Avengers or anyone died, but to be making a comedic video, sort of just based off of the Battle of Earth, which led to a lot more death since it had two massive armies fighting it out. And is also, basically saying that Captain Marvel was the true hero when she wasn't. She didn't do much in that fight, and it was Iron Man who managed to defeat Thanos. Where, yeah, I think that it was pretty bad. There's also some other videos on there where it was just basically, it was like those dumb gossip sites where they're, just making theories and reporting on people. And yeah, although that stuff does sell to people, I think it's a really cheap thing to do. And honestly, I don't love it. Although I think it's funny to hear that Ant-Man does have a podcast, and this is how some of the people just learn things about the different heroes. But honestly, I think that so far this series hasn't really impressed me. I do think there is a chance for it to be better, but so far this is my least favorite of the Disney Plus shows, and definitely the weakest episode in my opinion to start off a Disney Plus show so far, since it really hasn't set anything up besides just a few different family dynamics, and it all felt very repetitive. And the only big thing is something that was pretty obviously shown in the trailers. And with this, it didn't have a second episode to keep us intrigued like Kenobi did, because although Kenobi did have, in terms of similar setup of a first episode, we first off had a character we already knew of, and we were seeing how broken he was. I'm not going into any specifics, but yeah, with that one, we got to see just a lot more, but we also got to see where the journey continued into episode 2. And with this one, honestly, I'm not too intrigued to be watching the next episode. and I really can't wait. And there's a lot other things I want to see over this, including Marvel content that is not even out yet. I'm much more excited than the next episode of this. Again, I do think this can get better, but personally, I'm just not too interested right now. Yeah, I want to know what you think. I know I'm being a little negative in this, but I'm not a huge fan of the character, and I think that this could be a lot better, but let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.